the Edu Talks series where we call educationalists and elite group leaders to inspire parents and teachers with their stories and experiences. Today we have Sanjeev Kumar with us, who has been in the educational sector for 30 years now. He has conducted training programs on effective teaching and other related domains for nearly 1,000 teachers in UAE. He has also been associated with various NGOs and is a freelance writer. Currently, he is working as the principal of Rajagiri Public School, Doha, Qatar. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today. It's an honor to have you with us.
Me same.
How are you
Thank
doing,
you so much.
sir?
Very good morning to you.
How are you doing, sir?
Yeah, doing good, fine.
So, sir, let's start with the basic question. That is, did you always want to be in the educational field, or it came along the way? Because as far as I can see from here, you are also a freelance writer. So, how did you manage both of them? Did you want to be a writer or actually an educationalist? How was it, sir?
Basically, at very young age, I started interacting with people. Honestly speaking, during my campus days, the present day we call it as my junior college in Kerala. During our time, we call it as pre-degree. Before you go to degree course. I was a social activist and a part of student actively involved in student politics. From the very young age itself, I was deeply involved, deeply associated with social activism and directly involved in the problems of the people around me and involved in social involvements which pulled me to the forefront of activism, and it was there till during all my campus days. To be frank, it was there till I complete my post-graduation. Honestly speaking, I want to be with the society. I want to involve directly with the social space. Above all, at a particular point of time, I realized that certain political convictions, certain ideological convictions, in fact, moved away from me because of certain political realities that happened across the world. And that really shook me, and that really provoked me, and that really tempted me to rethink about my readings, about my convictions. And I finally arrived at an answer that to interact with society, to continue as a social activist, rather to continue as a political activist, teaching is the best scenario. So for me, teaching is a kind of social activism. Rather, teaching I basically consider as a political activism. So it is not a coincidence, or it is not an accident. I purposely I have chosen this particular activism. Okay, I use the word activism continuously, so don't get bored. And it's a purposely chosen one.
So, sir, I'm assuming that obviously you understand. So there are a lot of people, especially in India, if we see, they think that teaching is the last option. It's like the easiest job to do. Yeah. But for me, at least personally, I feel like teachers are one of the most important job roles, because they are creating the future of an entire world, not only a country, but the entire world. But most people, even many teachers themselves think that, okay, I wanted to be this, but okay, I'll just get into teaching because it's easier or the last option. So what is your opinion on this, sir?
See, the sentence that you used, that's a cliche in the corporate world. If you are smart enough, if you don't know anything to do, if you don't work, you go and teach. Okay, that was the cliche word used in the corporate world. But for me, it's a profession which requires extraordinary skills. It's a profession that demands sincerity. It's a profession that demands responsibility. Above all, it's a profession. It's the only profession which really, really demands your passion and your emotional involvement. So you cannot consider teaching you cannot define teaching in a very peripheral manner. You cannot define teaching in a very mechanical manner. It has its own root and it carries immense of meaning because the people who involve in this profession carries lots and lots of responsibility.
Absolutely, sir. So, like you have been an educationist or an educator in India as well as abroad. So, sir, what do you feel is the difference? Is there any difference? Which one is better or, more convenient?
Yeah, I expected the question. See, if you asked me basically whether considering the years I spent in the field of education as a teacher, to be honest, I spent majority of my career outside Kerala, my home state, outside India. Okay, and as a teacher, if you're asking me to compare I don't think whether it has got its own meaning of comparing the two different. Why? Because the geography is different, the terrains I worked is different, people are different, culture is different, fauna are different. So if you are comparing students different, and the crowd which I'm addressing, it was totally different. In Kerala, the scenario was entirely different. I was part of some sort of, voluntary organizations. You can call it not exactly NGO, of course NGO, but even then, there my approach was different, and the way I mingled with people was absolutely different. At that time, I was not even completed my professional degree, the so-called B.Ed, which is an inevitable degree for a teacher to be the part of a formal education system. Okay, before taking B.Ed, I involved in teaching, and it was absolutely a non-formal setup. And how it happened, because I was a part of theatre in Kerala. Myself and my friends, we were continuing with the theatre which we ourselves founded, and was very active in the city of Trivandrum for nearly a decade, almost something like 87 to 86 to 96. So that all took me in the forefront of, instead of using the word, I prefer to use non-formal dialogue with people. Okay, that is the word which I prefer to use. And my first formal teaching started in Maldives, 94 beginning. Okay, and there it was entirely different. It was totally a new atmosphere, new culture, new people, and the way they interact with us. In Kerala and all, students call you by using the name. Good morning, sir. Good afternoon, sir, or good, something like that. First time, and I went to Maldives with that halo of teacher. I expect everybody to address me, to talk to me as a teacher. So I expect when students communicate me that, sir, Sanjeev sir, that kind of tagline I expected. But in 94 itself, I realized that that is only a part of, formal education, one of the part of formal educational setup. It is not necessary because from the students who are studying from grade 4 or grade 5, till grade 12, there it was A level, part of IGCSE curriculum I taught. So their students call you by name. So initially, it was a very big problem for me. Then later on, I realized that the warmth of love, the warmth of affection they showed to me, it is not by calling. There is nothing. There is no connection between these two, between the love that students shower on you and the words that you to address. There is no relation, zero relation between these two. That is one thing. Another one, I got a wonderful opportunity to work as a college lecturer, as both as a lecturer in economics in a private college. At the same time, I worked nearly for 5 years. I worked as a lecturer in education in a training college where we were training teachers how to become professional teachers. That was a great experience for me. It was a B.Ed college I was working. It was in Trivandrum for nearly 4.5 years. It was a great learning for me, and there I gathered quite a lot, the real pulse of an adult before he or she moves towards the formal profession called teacher. And that interaction with adults was an eye opener for me. And there I started unlearning myself and started to relearn quite a lot. And I remodified my perception, and I moved towards constructing certain formulating new perceptions, and carried my new perceptions from there.
But I think after a certain age, it becomes very important to unlearn things also. Like people think learning is the only factor, but it is very important to unlearn some things also. So, sir, it's great. Many people can't do that. It's a great thing that you could change your perception, unlearn things, learn new things. I think that's amazing.
Yeah, that's it. So, when we look at these, all things have happened within me. When I talk to students, when I talk to my colleagues, when I talk to senior students, because I got opportunity to work from grade 9 to a postgraduate student. So this span really provided me immense of experience, which educated me a lot to twine and untwine myself, and this helped me to move forward in my career. When you are inside the classroom, how you should interact. When you are outside the classroom, how you should deal your students. And after all, what is your primary responsibility inside the classroom and outside the classroom as a teacher and as a human being and as a matured adult, as a responsible adult, as a person who are forced to interact with human beings? A big responsibility is on you. So you have to realize the role that you're going to depict in front of the society.
That is very important, sir. So, sir, what I'm understanding is you have also been very included in performing arts. Like you said, you were into theater. Right now, also you are into writing. So, sir, like these are creative fields, right? Now, what happens many a time, like at least it happens here, sir, that is many a times parents think that these fields don't give you anything. You either you have to study science, you have to become a doctor and engineer to get somewhere. Like the mentality is changing by the day, but this was the core mentality that was. So, sir, being someone who respects and who is into performing arts like theatre and writing, so what is your opinion on this thought?
Same as Sanjana. Now, if you look at the scenario, the entire things changed. The whole things has deconstructed by itself, dismantled by itself. You just look at the scenario happening now for the last at least 5 to 10 years. Even now, the present scenario, the attraction towards science, the attraction towards engineering colleges has drastically gone down. If you're asking me, in absolute realistic terms, I can pinpoint the reality existing in Kerala. The number of students joining in self-financing engineering college, lots and lots of self-financing engineering colleges are really empty without students. Okay, but of course there is a good demand for engineering courses um, for in government engineering colleges, and of course the demand for IIT and all that is different. That is of course for a cream layer, intellectually cream layer. That is, but I'm talking about the majority. Okay, so when you look at that scenario, you're also aware of the fact that it is not compulsory that a student should get very high marks in entrance if he or she wants to get into an engineering college now. And there was a situation, even if a student failed an entrance examination, that student can get into an engineering college. I'm talking about self-financing engineering colleges. Okay, that was a scenario. So and if you look at the employment scenario, take the case of a particular person who come out of the engineering college after taking BTech Civil, number one, BTech in instrumentation, number two, BTech in like that, BTech degrees. If you look at BTech computer science or BTech, what do you call this kind of BTech in automobile engineering, when you analyze the courses offered in engineering colleges altogether, only a handful of courses are having very good demand. I think I'm right. Especially a particular student who come out of after passing BTech in civil engineering, that particular person is coming to Middle East, and you just see how he is working and what status he is working. He's not working as an engineer after completing BTech. That is number one. Number two, Sanjana, I think you are also well aware of the fact that 90% of MBA graduates, okay, their basic degree is BTech.
Yeah.
So why? This is a real ironical scenario. If they want to do MBA, they can start their graduation course from BBA, right?
Exactly.
And majority of the BBA colleges, their seats are not filled. Suppose a particular college by name X, and that particular college has got nearly 150 seats for BBA tourism, BBA HR, BBA finance, so many BBA logistics, so many are there. 150 seats, out of 150 seats, less than 50 seats are filled. Correct. So nobody is going towards BBA. Rather, after completing the BTech, they are going for MBA. Okay. So which means the money spent from the government side, the money spent by the parents, or the intellectual investment that a particular student is investing for 4 to 5 years, where it is going?
Yes, exactly.
Where it is going? So that's the reality. So this particular aspect, we have to, first of all, we have to understand the reality. And when you understand the reality, you have to identify whether it's a problem or not. And if you are diagnosing it as a problem, then you have to go for the further diagnosis. All this process, we call it as problem solving process, where we have to develop problem solving ability. That is what the education is now asking the schools to develop problem solving skills in students.
Absolutely. So, sir, being someone who is from BBA, I completely understand what you're saying. Like, I was preparing for my MBA. Majority of the students are engineers.
Yeah.
All the engineers are wanting to do an MBA.
True.
I totally understand, sir, what you're saying. Anyway, sir, coming to the part, how was the pandemic? Like, right now, schools are opening. Even here, schools are opening. So, how did the pandemic affect your school and the educational system in an entire basis?
It was an unpredictable. It was an accident. It was an accident. So when That is why we use, the real meaning of accident itself communicate an entirely different connotation. That's why we use the word accident. So in order to face an accident, we cannot plan something in advance. Correct? It's a casualty. And about this particular casualty, the entire world got a small hint. But before we try to get the hint, get the clear picture, that spread across the world. So we were in a position, we were really wondering what to do and how to move forward. Across the world, it happened. The whole world stood still, at least for a few days. But the world has to move forward. The life has to move forward. The life cannot stand still, even for a fraction of a second. That is the reality. And in the history itself, the same episode occurred earlier. Spain flu, plague and all. Yeah. But when these kind of things happen, there occurs some sort of momentum. Mankind gathers some momentum. Why? Because the mankind has to go forward. It cannot stand still. So it affected the education, but horizontally and vertically, no doubt in that. The entire concept of schooling changed. So now we are asking a very particular question where building is required for education. Where a particular person is required to educate a particular child. Is it required? So you just look back, something like 22 months back. No schools, complete closure, no teachers, no physical classes. No teacher is asking the students to get up, to keep quiet, shut your mouth. Okay? And if you don't complete your homework, I will send you out of the class. If you don't complete your assignment, do not come to school. So this kind of sentences became meaningless. Correct? And slowly, new innovative method of teaching we identified. A lot of people came forward with innovative methods to impart education. So as a part of that, online classes started. Yeah. And when we slowly started to move towards online classes, actually it was a new realm. Why? Because 100% the teachers working in a school, they are trained, or they were trained to teach students physically. Why? Because all B.Ed courses, Bachelor of Education degree, they earned as a part of regular classes, and they were taught to prepare their lesson plans. They were taught to teach when the child is physically present in the class. But now, because of this particular situation, no students sitting in front of you, then how you will teach?
Absolutely.
So if a teacher wants to go forward, a teacher should see the expression, the face of a student sitting in front of you. He or she should get something back from the person sitting in front of you. Otherwise, how you will teach? See, now you are seeing me, I am seeing you, and we are, but we were totally in dark. We were unable to imagine even how I am going to teach a child who is not sitting right in front of under my nose. So slowly we moved towards online education and all. And then we realized that yes, through online also we can teach. And to teach via online, we call it as digital platform. Now so many new technologies, new terminologies enter in the field of education. Online coaching, digital coaching, virtual classes, all these things came in. And slowly, but one thing we should appreciate that other than any professionals who adapt to new environment, teachers adapted extremely well.
They did.
That is why in the whole world, education could move forward. Otherwise, you just imagine for the last 22 months, That means the child who is going to attend KG in the year 2020, what would have happened if the online classes were not on, if the digital platform was not there? What would have happened to the entire field of education for the last 1.5 years, something like nearly 20 months? Unimaginable. So it affected everybody. Now I talked as an educationist, but you think from the point of a student. A student, say, a student who had been in the school for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 7 years, suddenly one morning asking the student not to go out of the room, not to go out of the house. So nearly 1.5 years, he missed everything. His friends, his interactions, his mingling, his social skills. Now, the present grade 1 child, he or she, now he's studying in grade 1. But last year he was in KG2. Nothing he got from the face of a teacher. Nothing he grasped from a classroom. Nothing he knows about the school. He came to grade 1.
Yes.
Correct? That affected small babies in an entirely different manner. They don't know how to hold a pencil. They don't know how to erase. They don't know how to write a particular word, a particular letter. They don't know how to, because when teachers are there in the class, teachers normally move towards the students and individually tell how to hold the pencil, how to write A, how to write B, what is the difference, how to use it properly, all these things. But this is not the case for a grade 9 student. This is not the case with the grade 11 student. This is not the case with the grade 12 student. So the problems are entirely different from the student's angle, from the student's perception. They miss the lot. I'm talking about a grown-up girl, grown-up boy. They missed quite a lot, which they used to get from a normal school atmosphere. When I used the word school atmosphere, I used the particular term with a broader perspective. My personal thought is that the school atmosphere should be transformed to a social sphere, a community space. Okay, so then only you can inculcate social skills. You don't have to teach social skills. When you teach a social skills, that would be a kind of teaching mathematics, teaching economics, teaching physics. When you teach social skill, that is a kind of purposive activity. It is a kind of purposive activity. No, social skills should imbibe by a particular individual automatically, naturally.
Absolutely.
But now, when you look at the educational scenario, now everybody is talking about 21st century skills. And when you observe 21st century skills, of course, there is technically we can divide it as 3L, or we can call it as LQ, learning skill, literacy skill, life skill, these kind of skills. And as a part of life skill, many are there. We can call it as using an acronym, FLIPS. F stands for flexibility, L stands for leadership, I stands for initiative, and S stands for social skills. Correct? That means it's the responsibility of a teacher who is teaching inside the classroom for 40 minutes, using all kind of technicalities in a very technical format. The teacher is responsible to teach, to develop social skills in the classroom. Sanjana, my question is very simple. I should teach you how to talk. I should teach you some sort of mannerisms, and I should teach you how to mingle with your friends.
Absolutely.
I'm not continuing, stopping abruptly. Please proceed.
No, sir, absolutely. I think these are very important skills. I'll tell that personally because I was a very shy kid. Like as a kid, I was very shy. I wasn't very good at communicating, talking, and there was no one to tell me how to do that. So, I really feel these are really important skills.
Yes, I do agree. But do you think that it is the responsibility of the teacher to teach a particular student how the meaning of flexibility, and the person you should be flexible? So how you will teach, how you teach to develop the quality of flexibility? That is one question. Second question, see, to be flexible means what? I am telling Sanjana, you are a person, you're a professional, and you are leading a particular firm. So my question, or you are a social being. My question is, if you want to success, if you want to achieve success in your life, you should be flexible. So,
Absolutely.
do you that is one of the 21st century skills that you have to inculcate in the present generation. My question is, uh, whether this flexibility, whether we can extend the equation of flexibility to the word a dirty compromise. I don't know. I'm not sure. Are you asking an individual to compromise with everything? At the same time, it is our responsibility to inculcate the character of questioning in students. Only
Yes.
students has the urge of questioning. Only children will question everything. Only children will shower questions. Only children will throw questions. So this is a paradox.
It is.
I don't know whether I'm going towards a high level of cognitive theories. I don't know, but these are the paradox which I am facing. And is you are asking to inculcate the culture of questioning. At the same time, you are asking that you are asking yourself to teach students to be flexible in order to achieve success. Then comes the next question: how you measure the success degree of success in life? What do you mean by success in life? Scoring 100 out of 100 in math, grade 12 examination? Or you have become the CEO of a corporate that you will become success in life? I don't know. That is left to, we will discontinue this particular aspect and we'll leave it to some other experts who is, life coaches or somebody else. See, that word is another one. Can I proceed with that?
Yes, sir, sure.
Okay, sure. See, what do you mean by life coach? How you define life coach? So, you need a particular person to coach you to achieve success in life. Correct. So all these things came to the forefront. How? You have to analyze the context. Before 10 years or before 15 years, there was no such word called life coach. It's the reason, the origin. Correct. So when we look at this scenario, you have to think a lot about the society. So what kind of society we are living in? Very, very simply, we can say absolutely consumer society, commodity ruled society, and a particular individual is being addressed, or your status, your dignity, your credibility will be assessed and measured based on the things you use, the things you hold, the things you possess. The status of a person is being measured by mere possessions of material things. And now you relate the so-called 21st century learning skills, which is supposed to be imbibed in young generation. So here comes the question which I started: how a teacher can inculcate the quality of flexibility in a grade 12 student. At the same time, we are asking students to be very genuine. Hope you are able to follow me.
Yes, sir, I can. There is actually a paradox. I have never thought it this way, honestly speaking. I have never thought it this way, sir. Thank you for sharing. I'll actually think about this part of it.
So I'm not sure whether I'm in the right track and I'm moving as per your expectation. I don't know. But these are the thoughts which just rushed to my brain and I just shared with you.
I mean, thank you for sharing. Honestly, sir, I've never even thought it like this way. I'm sure many people have it. So, hearing this, you always think, oh, yeah, he's right. Never thought about it like this. Yes, sir. So, okay, sir. So, coming from there, there is something that we want to talk about. That is, you have written a book that is Teacher's Ego, a tangible hitch.
Yeah.
So, sir, could you tell us or share with us what is it about? A little gist.
This article published something like while I was in work, I was in UAE from 2003 till 2012. I was associated with a very big corporate in the field of education. There was only I was working as a postgraduate teacher in economics there in that school and as of course as head of the department of social science. And this particular article I published in Gulf Today. It was in the year I think 2006 or 8. The title itself is Teacher Ego. See, as a teacher, I used to interact with my colleagues, and I have a lot of friends. And whenever I talk, everyone quite often point fingers to the distractions happening inside the classroom, and the major factor for that distraction is student. Okay, he's not listening. He's not completing the work. He's unable to understand what I'm saying. He doesn't know. He doesn't know simple English. This, how many times I repeated. All these are the cliche comments of a teacher after coming out of the class. If you're asking me what happened in the class, if you're asking him what happened in the class. So I started analyzing the real problem. Then I arrived at the fact that the problem is with the teacher, not with the student. Why? Because teacher always expects students to obey. Okay, here comes the problem. You are asking a small little baby to obey, that is KG1. You are asking a grade 5 child to obey in the class. You are asking a grade 12 student to obey in the class. How you are asking? You are going to the class. First of all, you are saying good morning or good afternoon. If a particular child is not replying the same, immediately you will get annoyed. Correct? It is not a purposeful act from the child. The child doesn't have any problem with that particular teacher, but he was not taking that seriously to say good morning. He doesn't know that not to respond good morning using the word good morning or good afternoon is a criminal offense. Simple. So the teacher is emotionally getting disturbed, and from that first minute onwards, something else is working on the emotional hemisphere of the teacher, and he slowly asks, they will start cornering the child, asking 1 question, 2 questions, 3 questions. So within 40 minutes, he can ask 40 questions to 40 students. Rather, he will target the particular child. Why? Because that particular child has not responded, the greeting, and at least 20 questions to the same child within 40 minutes. Now, physically speaking, teacher is getting every opportunity to establish his power, the power of a teacher, the authority of a teacher inside the 4 walls. Why? Because physically speaking, all 35 students are sitting, only teacher is standing. And where teacher is standing in the midst of the class. What is teacher doing? Teacher is addressing the class. So when a particular person is standing and speaking, what is your role? Your role is only just to listen. That is an unwritten law. Correct? And when I am standing and speaking, I order. Why I order? Because there is another thing going to my mind, that when I am speaking, you're supposed to listen. Only listen. You are not supposed to ask questions. If you are asking questions, or if you're asking a doubt, or if you're giving, and there is another cliche word among teachers. I don't know whether you are familiar with the word. The word is, that child is back answering. Correct? Almost all school teachers are using the same word, back. What do you mean by back answering? When you answer, that means you are responding back. Simple. So why you are using the word back answering? I don't understand the meaning so far. You are asking me a question, Sanjana. You are a teacher. I am a student, and you are asking me a question. What I'm supposed to do?
Answer it.
Answer. And when I answer you for a particular question, you will say, why you are back answering? Your tone will change. Your voice will change. Okay, said. Now the another context I will tell you. Sanjana, you are asking one question. Already you already gave me a warning stating that why you are back answering, maybe yesterday or day before yesterday or 1 week back. Okay, that is there in my mind. So today you are coming to the class and you are asking something, I am not responding. Correct? I'm not responding. Why? Because already I got a warning from you when I responded as back answering. I'm using the word back answering in inverted comma. This time I'm not responding, and you will ask, can't you hear me? Why you are giving me deaf ears? I'm talking to you. So many gestures, and you will get irritated. So now my question, Sanjana, what a student is supposed to do to a particular teacher doing these two statements? Very simple, my question. So basically the problem with the teacher, that particular word we have to change, I think. Instead of from the very beginning itself. Teacher is supposed to teach. Teacher is supposed to correct. Teacher is supposed to find out mistakes. Teacher is supposed to report something to parents. Teacher is a person supposed to report to principal or supervisor. Teacher is supposed to find out whether some indiscipline is there or not. Correct? Who is this teacher? Who is this teacher to dictate all these things? Who gave this power to teacher? So in that context, let me tell you that during the online classes, students enjoyed a lot. Why? Because they are totally free from the authority of a teacher who is using the authority physically, and that using authority is physically visible and it is measurable. And during the online class, see, now I am teaching, you can turn the camera off, Sanjana. You can listen only to my sound. Correct? Now, suppose I am teaching you now. You are attending the class with one device. At the same time, you can use another device. I will not be able to notice. Okay? And you turn off the camera, and you will be in the bedroom or you will be in the kitchen, and from there you can answer because audio is on. So if you don't like the class of Mr. Sanjeev because of various reasons which happened earlier in the class physically, you dislike the face of Sanjeev. You don't want to see the face of Sanjeev. You don't want to see the face of the teacher. Rather, you just want to, you have enormous freedom. So in that context, I wish to use a particular phrase. When there is distance learning, when there is virtual learning, literally students enjoy the autonomy of learning. I repeat, autonomy of learning. Nobody, he will decide his own classroom atmosphere. In that way, if you ask me, I will vote for students. Okay.
So I guess there are very less people to come out of their profession. Like you are a teacher and an educationalist. So I really like how you can come out of your zone, your part of an educationalist, and think as a student or how the student would feel. I think very less people can do that. Even parents fail to do that, to understand how their child feel or thinks. So sir, I think that's great, sir. And sir, is there any point of advice you would like to give the teachers on this aspect? Like whatever is happening, how to make the children be more free with them, or not install this fear into the children as we just spoke about?
See, basically, before they enter the class, they should remove the tagline of teacher. They should destroy by themselves the ego of a teacher. Otherwise, they cannot be a successful person in front of students. There will be a total failure. Every moment there will be conflict. Every moment there will be clash. And sole person who is responsible behind this clash, I would say, that's teacher. So teachers, the basic approach of the teacher, they should change. And the most important quality in the present context that the teacher should carry is to understand the present day reality. Understand the present day child. That is the most important quality that all teachers must carry. No doubt in that.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, it is absolutely stereotyped and will become a conventional authoritarian teacher, rather authoritative teacher.
Yes. So sir, coming to the last question for today, sir, that is, you have another article, I'm guessing, that is politics of being positive.
That's a don't put me in trouble coming to that particular scenario.
So sir, if you could just share a gist about what is it about, what are your views on what are your views that you have shared here?
Yeah, the title of that particular article is The Politics of Be Positive. See, now that is the particular phrase everyone is using. Be positive, be positive, be positive. Correct. So at the same time, the realities that you see, the track that you are moving forward, the things which you see, the matters which you come, the actual reality in which you are surrounded with, is not providing that much of favorable elements to inculcate positivism.
Yeah.
Correct? See, for example, the corona, so when you look at this particular phrase, be positive, actually I wrote that particular article in a different context, understanding the mode of operandi of the corporate and the culture that is prevailing in the corporate atmosphere. We used to call it as corporate culture. In that particular space, as per the hierarchy, the person, the CEO or whoever it may be, they always transmits this particular aspect towards the lower strata. You have to be positive, you have to be positive, you have to be positive. At the same time, the degree of exploitation prevailing in that particular scenario, the intensity of exploitation it is increasing.
Hmm.
It is increasing. You are not able to identify how you are being exploited. Rather, uh, you may be able to only experience. Oh, this is happening. Is this the way? Only that type of questions you may be able to pose at various occasions. Okay, so that is why I put that title itself as the politics of being be positive. So we have to. It is a highly dogmatic way of presenting a way. It carries ideological root. So I think that needs a particular, that needs a different space to analyze that aspect. So in short, let me tell you, you can develop positivism only based on identifying or realizing the reality.
Absolutely, sir. So with that, we come to an end of an interview. I'll honestly share my honest views. That is, sir, I think I got to learn a very different perspective. There are things that you said, and I was like, oh, I have never thought of it like this. So thank you so much for sharing your views. I
Thank you,
have
Sanjana.
learned
Thanks
or
a lot.
understood a lot.
Thanks a lot for giving me a chance. So I just wish to communicate one aspect. When you asked about teacher ego, you told me to elaborate on this. So when I wrote that particular article, teacher ego, a tangible hitch. I think that was a title. You know, a very famous poem written by Gibran, Khalil Gibran, a Lebanese poet. His magnum opus work, uh, the world famous book written by Gibran, named The Prophets. In that book, it was it is actually a compilation of nearly 20 to 24 small poems. Okay, and the title of one chapter is On Children. So this particular the prophet, name of that particular the title is, the name of the book is The Prophet, and the person, the character's name is Al Mustafa. So the Al Mustafa was walking, and he reached a particular village, and a woman carrying small baby and holding towards the chest, and that woman asked Al Mustafa, can you speak something about children? So I just remember, I think it goes like this. Your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. They come through you, but not from you. And though they are with you, yet they belong not to you. They come through you, but not from you. And though they are with you, they belong not to you. More than this, nothing more than this, nothing is there to explain, to detail the what do you call the angelic, the innocent, or the what do you call the meaning of children. If you read these lines, if you understand the real meaning of these lines, this is the one which provoked me to write, the so-called teacher Eve.
Wow, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your thoughts with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. A big salute to you and to your entire team. And with all sort of humility, I bow my head in front of the association and your office staff for giving me a chance to share my thoughts. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Have a nice day, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.